Chris Jericho has once again set the wrestling world on fire with speculation that he could make his way back to WWE in 2026. Now, this is not the kind of headline that fans expected to see, especially given his deep roots in AEW, where he has been a founding star and the first ever AEW World Champion. Jericho has spent the last several years helping build AEW into a legitimate alternative to WWE, and for most people, the idea of him walking back into WWE seemed almost impossible. But the world of wrestling has proven time and time again that you should never say never, and if history has taught us anything, it's that shocking returns happen when you least expect them. Right now, Chris Jericho is still under contract with AEW until December 2025, which means technically he is not free to talk to WWE or even negotiate with them in any official capacity. But what sparked this entire conversation was something as simple as a social media like. Jericho liked a post hinting at him returning to WWE. And in today's era where every click and every post gets magnified, fans immediately started buzzing. For a performer as experienced as Jericho, someone who knows how to manipulate crowd reactions and media narratives, this was not a careless move. He knows what he's doing, and he understands the power of creating chatter, whether intentional or not. That one interaction has reignited the idea that he may once again step foot in WWE. Jericho's history with WWE is legendary. He made his iconic debut in 1999, interrupting The Rock on Monday Night Raw in one of the most memorable debuts in wrestling history. Over the years, he would go on to become a multiple-time world champion, intercontinental champion, tag team champion, and a staple of WWE programming. He was involved in countless classic matches and rivalries, from Shawn Michaels to Triple H to CM Punk to Kevin Owens. His versatility made him one of WWE's most dependable stars for nearly 2 decades. He could be serious, he could be comedic, he could reinvent himself constantly, and each time he managed to stay relevant. When Jericho stepped away from WWE and eventually landed in AEW, it was considered a massive move. AEW needed a proven veteran and mainstream name to give their brand credibility, and Jericho delivered. He became their first world champion, led the Inner Circle, feuded with Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, Orange Cassidy, and MJF, and played a vital role in legitimizing AEW in its earliest days. His presence gave the company credibility in the eyes of wrestling fans who were skeptical about whether AEW could compete on a global level. For years, he was one of the pillars holding the company together. But fast forward to 2025, and things have shifted. Jericho has taken time off, focusing on his music career with Fozzy and stepping away from weekly wrestling. His contract running out at the end of 2025 aligns perfectly with speculation that WWE could bring him back for one last run. The timing is interesting because 2026 will be WWE's push into a new era, with stars like John Cena completely retired, Brock Lesnar mostly gone, and legends like The Undertaker and Triple H out of the ring. WWE is always looking for names that can bring nostalgia and mainstream buzz. Jericho returning would create headlines everywhere, and it would give WWE a chance to use one of their all-time greats in high-profile matches, even if only on a part-time schedule. What makes this speculation so fascinating is Jericho's own complicated relationship with WWE. He has openly criticized the company in the past, talking about how creatively frustrating it could be, how wrestlers weren't always used to their full potential, and how AEW gave him a freedom he never had in WWE. That freedom allowed him to reinvent himself again as Lou Champion and later as the Wizard, leaning into character work that might have been watered down in WWE. And yet, for all his criticism, Jericho has never truly burned the bridge with WWE. He has even made surprise returns before, like his 2017 feud with Kevin Owens that ended in one of the best matches of WrestleMania 33. Jericho understands business, and WWE understands the value of bringing back a star of his magnitude. The question then becomes, what would Jericho actually do if he returned? Would it be a short-term nostalgia run, or would WWE use him to help build new stars the way he did in AEW? Jericho's track record shows that he is not afraid to lose big matches if it means elevating talent. He did it in AEW repeatedly, putting over names like Orange Cassidy and MJF, and he has always been willing to reinvent himself in a way that makes his opponents look stronger. In WWE, a Jericho return could mean marquee matches with today's top stars like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, or even Gunther. Fans have also fantasized about Jericho mixing it up with LA Knight, a promo battle that would be pure electricity. Another factor to consider is the Hall of Fame. Jericho is a guaranteed WWE Hall of Famer, but as long as he's active in AEW, that honor won't happen. A WWE return in 2026 could pave the way for him to not only have one last run but also finally take his rightful place in the Hall of Fame. That alone could be a strong motivator for him to close out his career with WWE rather than AEW. For fans, seeing him inducted and celebrated for his contributions across decades would be a satisfying moment. Of course, this is still speculation. Jericho has always been a master of keeping fans guessing. He thrives on unpredictability, and this could just be another example of him stirring the pot. After all, liking a social media post doesn't equal signing a WWE contract, but the timing, the contract expiration, and the ongoing buzz make this rumor feel more realistic than ever before. Wrestling thrives on surprises, and Jericho knows exactly how to create one. Fans are already fantasy booking his potential return. Some imagine him entering the 2026 Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant, setting up a WrestleMania dream match. Others believe he could show up on Raw to confront someone like Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins, instantly injecting excitement into a storyline. Jericho's return would be headline news and would generate the kind of mainstream attention WWE craves. Meanwhile, AEW fans are split. On one hand, Jericho has been an essential part of the company since day one, and his leaving would feel like the end of an era. On the other hand, AEW has grown beyond needing Jericho as its centerpiece. Stars like MJF, Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, and Will Ospreay are now carrying the company, and AEW may be able to thrive without him in a way they couldn't back in 2019. If Jericho wants to close out his career in WWE, AEW fans may understand and respect that decision. Jericho himself has always prided himself on being adaptable, whether it was becoming Y2J, the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, the best in the world at what I do, or Lou Champion. He constantly reinvents himself. That adaptability is why he has lasted so long in an industry where most careers burn out after a decade. If he does return to WWE, fans can expect a new twist on Jericho, a character reinvention that keeps things fresh while also celebrating his history. What makes all of this so compelling is that Jericho is one of the few names left who can genuinely shock the industry. Wrestling fans have become conditioned to expect surprises, but Jericho going back to WWE after everything he's done in AEW would still be massive. It would dominate headlines, trend across social media, and bring in lapsed fans who remember him from his peak WWE days. WWE would no doubt seize the opportunity to make it a huge spectacle. In the end, whether Jericho actually returns or not, he has once again done what he does best, kept people talking. He understands better than almost anyone that in wrestling, the buzz is half the battle. By liking one post, he has put himself back at the center of the conversation, and now fans are left wondering what's next. Maybe it's all just a tease, maybe it's planting seeds for something bigger, or maybe, just maybe, we really will see Chris Jericho walk down the WWE ramp in 2026. If that happens, it would be one of the most memorable homecomings in wrestling history and a fitting final chapter for one of the greatest performers the industry has ever seen.